negotiating fair contracts.
Contract now! Contract now!
That's what the Machinists Union is all about. Every year, thousands of contracts are voted on, contracts that change the lives of IAM members and their families. But an IAM contract is a bit like a machine. It takes all the departments working together to create the best product.
You don't get the kinds of contracts that we've won in the last year without proper preparation, without explaining to the general public what's going on, without conveying to the membership what's at stake.
The individual lodge in the woodworkers is kind of like a piece of veneer, and veneer is paper-thin wood, and you can just put it between your fingers and squeeze it, and it shatters into a million pieces. But you take this veneer and put another piece of veneer on top of it, another piece of veneer on top of that, and then you put it under extreme pressure, and it becomes almost an unbreakable piece of plywood.
An unbreakable piece of plywood is a good way to describe the Machinists Union. No matter the circumstance, the IAM fights for what's best for its members and their families, putting the phrase "a strength in numbers" into action.
But if you're walking into an office to meet with the agency and you're representing 800 or 900 people, they know that you're speaking for a larger majority of people now, and they want to keep those people happy. They know that there's strength in the union numbers. So they're more apt to deal with the union when the numbers are greater.
You'd always like to choose the master agreement because it gives you more strength, because you'd have all the members under that same agreement. All the contracts would come due at the same time. The employer would have to bargain with everybody or face a possible strike at all locations versus having an individual location go on strike and then move their work around to other locations.
National contracts, give the IM the leverage to speak as one, to say we're speaking with one voice. These are our issues, and we're very sincere about the issues that we're presenting to you.
But whether it's a national contract, a coordinated effort, or a three-person shop, it's all about getting the best deal and respect for the workers that make the company what it is, and making sure that contract works for workers and not the other way around.
For example, I just got a phone call from a brother out in California that's doing they're involved in negotiations, and the question is about our members being exposed to electromagnetic fields and lasers, and they want to know how they can get the employer to pay for those physicals.
I think what we always need to do, what we need to do as a union, what we need to do politically, what we need to do in the legal department, is always make sure that the people who we have to deal with understand the personal price and the personal value of the people we represent and the work that we do.
That's where the coordinated efforts of the Machinists Union comes home. A good contract takes information from all of the IAM's departments to help workers get justice on the job. The IAM is here to offer solutions to problems and answer questions of the memberships, and to try to keep the company honest at the bargaining table.
It's bargaining. If I was on their side, I'd probably do the same thing, where they try to make everything sound as expensive as possible and cry how it's hurting them on competitiveness. And what we can bring to the table is say, well, this is what other people in the industry are making, people in the area, and really help get the facts out on the table. And often we show how their costs aren't as bad as they're saying.
We're a very progressive force. We forced significant occupational health and safety standards over the industry. At every time we raised the bar, their response was, we'll go broke. Every time we succeeded, their profits went up because they had fewer lost time injuries, they had fewer worker comp issues.
The membership are armed with as much information as possible before they take their seat at the bargaining table. Just like the company, IAM members know what workers at other shops have or don't have because they've already asked the right questions.
how many people are there, what their wages look like, what their benefits look like, their vacations, their holidays, their overtime language. The list goes on, the stuff that we can put in there. So
the IAM gives its members the power to duel on a much more level playing field with the company. Sometimes even the members are a bit surprised about what they can find out.
And then when they find out the set of tools that are available to them, not only here at the Wimpensingher Center, but from strategic resources, from legal, from the various departments at headquarters, you can just see their eyes widen as they begin to think about the possibilities. And then they come away with a recognition and the knowledge that they can do better, and they can have better outcomes for their members.
A lot of companies actually are, if they haven't been familiar with our input, are a little shocked by the amount of information that we can provide. And many companies will have a lot of information on their side, but it may not be present at the table.
In terms of negotiating, one of the fastest growing areas of the IAM is the service contract arena. Because so many of our military men and women are fighting overseas, the men and women of the IAM are stepping up to the task here in the U.S. to help finish the jobs the military used to do.
The government is in the process of putting about 750,000 jobs on the street in the service contract arena because they don't have, like I said, they don't have the military personnel to do those jobs that they used to do anymore, so they're putting in the service contract.
Aerospace is one industry that's experiencing serious growth in the service contract arena. And the IAM wants to make sure its more than 90,000 aerospace members are being paid a fair wage. A union-negotiated contract in this industry is really a win-win for the employer because any wage increases are passed on to the federal government and not onto the company.
There's no way that a service contract is going to pay you more than the wage determination because that's all he gets reimbursed from the government for. So we can go in and negotiate, and through collective bargaining, we can bargain with the company and get more money for the individual above the wage determination.
Our industry really is one of the last industries that's going to provide opportunity for the next generation to come up and get a good paying job that they can be proud of, and go out and make a difference in the workplace.
Jobs and contracts that may make a difference in how history is written and eventually change the world. A quick look at the IAM men and women working in the space program is the proof.
They like to say their customers want access to space. Well, access to space means they have to come through the Machinist Union. When you're talking Delta rockets, Atlas rockets, the space shuttle, and the future next generation space vehicle, it's going to come through the Machinist Union.
Come through the Machinist Union, just like all the good jobs do. For an IAM member, a contract is so much more than just a piece of paper. It's an opportunity for a stronger relationship with the employer and for a good-paying job that promises to set the curve in any industry.